Okay, we're back here at Beamer Sun Garage, guys. Welcome back. Kind of quick one this morning. We got in the Toyota, went upstairs, got the key, and got the Toyota down here. And we're over here. My great friend Scott Wilson. I work for him. And Bethel Tire in Bethel, Ohio. There's the shop. And here is the legendary bounty hunter, the dog. And we call it legendary bounty hunter because, well, there's a dog on the hood. Legendary right there on the door. And it's the bounty hunter. I've deemed it the bounty hunter. So, a legendary experience of legendary transport of Bethel, Ohio. And yes, we don't want an arm and a leg, just your toes. So yeah, we don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. So we're gonna go out in the wrecker. We got here my great boss. God, I love him. God love Mr. Wilson, Scott Wilson. He went ahead and pre-warmed the truck for me. Started it up and had it running. But I have to do a pre-trip. I used to be a school bus mechanic, so I have to go around and check the springs and the tires. And so you're gonna go with me. We're gonna do it. We're not going anywhere. But we're gonna do a pre-trip. So we're gonna show you what it is. So here's a pre-trip. We check the tires and springs back there, the gas tank, front tire, the rim, the lug nuts are all there. Hood's already been popped on it. I popped both sides. It's pretty easy. You can see how this is an S model truck. It's a 4700. It's a T44E engine, which they say is not the good engine, but I'm telling you what, it's a great engine. So you flip it like this, boom, then you pull the hood, and there's a little indent right there. So you put your hand here, you put your foot down here on the bumper, give you some leverage, and then you pull back. And here comes the hood. Oh. So now you got to do a pre-trip, just like a school bus. And we want to look at the engine, see the belts on it, the fans there. There's no leaks that I can see. The steering shaft's intact, steering box, the big pitman arms there, the drag links there in place. Give it a little tug, with your hand. Shocks in place. That's new shocks. We still need these cables here. I'm gonna have to say something to him. We only got one cable holding the hood. I'm doing a video. Yeah. I'm showing people how to do a pre-trip on a bus. Well, it'd be like a school bus, but it's on this truck.
I seen the hood up. I'm like, that's different.
Well, I got to check the oil. He had it running, Ed, and he didn't check the oil because there was a pile of snow and ice. So he knows before I go out in it, I have to know it's got oil, because if I drive it with no oil and I blow the engine, guess whose fault it is?
I don't want you doing that.
Mine.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
Do what you gotta do.
He'd be screaming down my throat, not yours, because I drove with no oil. So we got to check the oil. We're going to do that. We're going to finish the pre-trip with, the tires here. It's got tread. Lug nuts are all in place. The springs there, spring perches. They seem to be in good shape. Radiators all there. When you do a pre-trip, only if an inspector's with you, like a guy you're actually, trying to get your CDL license, which would be not a trainer, but an inspector, that you're actually there. He's gonna want you to name every single part of the truck, bus, whatever you're pre-tripping, because it's part of the CDL license. You've got to be able to pre-trip the bus, the truck, whatever it is, and you got to name all the parts. There's your master cylinder. This has got a hydro boost set up, all the lines, master boost, boosters all in place, so everything's bolted. There's I think that's an alarm system this the truck used to have. Anyway, so we finished up the pre-trip. The door's there, the bed's there. We're gonna do a fast pre-trip. The winch is there, the cable's there, the B T-hook chain is there. Our tires have got air in them. Our leaf springs are there. Our controls are there. Our wheel lift's not falling off. Our bed is not falling off the truck. And that's a quickie pre-trip. So that's it for the pre-trip. Now you'll see us driving the truck. We're going to check the oil, and then we're going to fire this baby back. We're going to get some fuel too. And you'll see us on the next video at Beamer & Son Garage. There's our horn. Look at that horn. It's funny sounding too. Little air horn. Eat, eat. Yeah, it's not as good or cool as like the Roadrunner's horn, but that's a pre-trip. It's a fast one. Probably better than most school bus drivers do. They don't go through everything that, here I'm over here checking the alternator, the tensioner, make sure the tensioner's there. It's not, looking like it's gonna fall off. Valve covers there on this side, air cleaner. There's your radiator coolant tank, and check the fluid in it. Yeah, it's got coolant in it. I do all this every time I take it out. I know I keep up on it, but somebody else has driven it, so they've run some fuel out of it, and I don't know if it's got enough oil. There's our J-hook, froze to the bed. Absolutely froze. That's our safety chain. He has it bolted to the bed, actually blocked, and then he puts it up around here, so the chain doesn't fall off. It happened, fell off one time. I didn't know that he wanted it up around that post like that, so it fell off. Okay, go ahead. And then when it did, it fell off and went down on the ground. It got wedged in between these duals, and the hook part actually dug in to the inner dual, and man, when it did, it went clear through the dual. It stopped the truck. I thought I had run over somebody. It was a nighttime tow, which I don't like to do at night. I used to do a lot of towing at night. I didn't want to do it, but it was a tow that was way out past Mansfield, Ohio, where the prison is. It's way out past the prison. So I had to go way out there, drop a car off with the boss man, and I did it. When I come back, it was, running late because it was a long, long tow. It was further than they said it was. They said it was just up there by Mansfield. Oh, it was Mansfield, about another 50 miles past Mansfield. It was way, by the time I got home, it was dark. I couldn't see. Of course, I had the headlights of the truck, but it was dark outside, so you couldn't see anything outside your lights. And all of a sudden, I was going through, I think it was Amelia. I believe it was Amelia. And all of a sudden, the wrecker had just stopped, just locked right. Luckily, I wasn't going very fast, but just stopped. It just, poof, just poof, like the kind of like the motor on the Roadrunner. It just locked right up. And I thought somebody had pulled. It was somebody on the side street. I thought somebody had pulled out and pulled right in between, the truck. I thought somebody was wedged under the truck. I thought it killed somebody. I got out in the middle of the street and I ran around, and I didn't know what had happened. I thought somebody had hit me. I couldn't find anybody, and of course I kept searching. I found a J-hook. Had fallen off, bounced off the bed, went down on the ground, and wedged in between the two duals. The hook went up this way and hooked in that inside dual. And when it did, it went through the inner tire structure all the way through. And then once the wheels turned and straightened the chain, pulled the chain out tight, and it locked that wheel up. And that wheel, and I stopped. It wasn't a big, but it stopped me. It wasn't a horrendous, like being thrown through the cab like my dad when he, my dad had a brick truck, and he used to, deliver bricks and blocks and on construction sites, and he had his boom up, and he was delivering the brick, dropping the brick off around the, the property he was dropping the brick off at. When he got done, he always swung the boom around and then set the boom down. He left it up. Got in the truck, pushed the PTO, and took off, and had no problem, locally. Then when he got on the expressway, the boom had hit a bridge, because it was a pretty big truck with a really tall, boom. And when it hit that bridge, it stopped that truck immediately. And the old man, he went flying up into the steering wheel, and broke a couple ribs. It wasn't the first time the old man broke some ribs, and that was pretty much end of his driving career. It's sad that my dad's driving career ended like that in an accident. He fixed the truck. I came over, helped. His great friend Lou jumped in there, and we repaired the truck. We put another boom on it. It tore the whole boom clear off the truck, and we put another boom on it. We repaired the bed. We got it all fixed up, and he used it for a couple more, loads. But the insurance was so high, I believe they even canceled him, and he tried to get new insurance, and it was too high. He eventually just retired, and that was the end of my dad. His driving career was over. So it was a pretty sad thing. It was Clydale, Beamer and Son was the name of the trucking company, and they'd been in business for years. And there were some other companies, specifically Beamer Brothers, that was a spin-off from us. It was our cousins, Alan and Bobby Beamer, started their business, and they've actually split now as Beamer and Wilcox now, still out there, hauling bricks, hauling blocks, building supplies for, people's homes and construction sites across, the Ohio Valley. So that's the story of the Beamer trucking. That's the story of, my heritage and my family. And my dad ended, his career like that. It was sad. I hope it doesn't happen to me like that. I've had, some issues. I told you about that J hook. I had another accident in this truck once, a few years ago, and that's pretty much it. My driving career with him. Then I had another accident in a school bus where somebody had walked over into me and actually sideswiped the bus, but that wasn't my fault. And it was, he was ticketed for it and tried to fight it, and I had to go to court. That was a nightmare. But, other than this truck here, I haven't had any accidents. I had one, I backed into somebody's vehicle that wasn't there. When I pulled up, he had pulled up behind me. Why would you pull up behind a wrecker, people? But he had pulled up behind me and he wasn't there, and I looked in the mirrors and didn't see him. But the mirrors, he was in a blind spot. The mirrors didn't pick him up. And I hit him, nobody was there. He had parked it and got out. And I hit him with the back of the wheel lift. And if you looked at that wheel lift when I just took you around it, it's going to mess it up. And it did. It messed up at that side of that whole little Ford Ranger. So I think he learned a valuable lesson. Don't park behind a wrecker. And you guys out there too. You see a wrecker, stay away from him. If his lights are on, slow down, pull over, watch what you're doing. You might kill a tow driver, Be careful out there, guys. You're playing with somebody's life. You're in a hurry. You're trying to get to work, but there's a man already out there working. So, his emergency lights are on, respect his, his overhead lights, respect his, his beacon. And we'll see you in the next one. Beamer & Son Garage. Bye-bye, guys. We'll see you. We'll be towing on the next one. Bye-bye.